Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Come on over here.
Thanks.
That was my dear friend, Marek Woods-Harris. Here he is. Say hello.
How are you, John?
Marek, thank you so much for coming today with your beautiful partner, Lorenzo. I just wanted us to sit down and chat a little bit about the upcoming programming at the Mount Angel Theater Studio during the 2024 Mount Angel Oktoberfest, which is next week, the 12th through the 15th, and you'll be performing right here, just like that, a bunch of original sonatas.
I'll
A few?
be doing about a hour-long set. There, I'm going to throw in some probably Chopin or Debussy and some of my own
Some
pieces.
originals.
When I was in lockdown during COVID, I wrote a set of 24 piano preludes, one in every key. So
Like
you're
one a
going to
month?
hear at
Was
least,
that one a month for 2 years?
No, it was 1 year. It was all of 2021.
So like two a month.
So yeah, 2 a month in the average. Yeah.
Wow.
So it was a time for me to be alone and commune with my piano, and I took advantage of it. I mean, I wrote the first prelude in 2016. It was just an isolated E major prelude.
Let me write a piano prelude.
Yeah, but then 2021 rolled around. January 6th happened, so on January 7th, I wrote the second prelude, which has chunks of America the Beautiful
That's right.
and What the World Needs Now is Love.
I did finally
So I was
listen.
so moved by those events that I had to comment musically on them. And after I wrote the second one, I thought, let's write a third one, see how this is going,
Sit here closer.
see how the third one's going.
You know what? I forgot, but now that you mention it, you remember I did listen to that. You gave,
Yeah.
You gave me the CDs, and I did listen to a bunch of it, if not all of it, finally, this last winter, which is a great time to put a CD in.
Oh, it's over 2 hours of music.
And to do
so
that. Yeah, it took me a minute.
you have
Marek and I met a number of years ago at a standard steady jazz gig in Portland, Oregon on the last Sunday of every month, led by our dear fearless friend,
Laurent Nickel.
Laurent Nickel. And I've played there before, and Marek has been in the audience, I would submit, undoubtedly supporting fellow musicians more often than not the last 10 years. Isn't that about right?
I think what goes around comes around.
Because you relocated to Oregon when?
2012.
2012. Well, he started that in like 2014 or something like that, I think. So
I think it was about the same time. I think he just celebrated his 11th year at Scandals.
My point is, you were there since the beginning, probably.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and so was I. And so that's where we originally kind of saw each other, kind of met superficially, a little bit of distance. I always felt some affinity. Come to find out, we're only 1 year apart in age. That has a lot to do with it. We both love our music. So
Well, I loved your horn playing, and I had to tell you so.
Well, yes, and
where
thank
that
God,
started.
thank you very much for doing that over the years. It gave me much needed nurturing and love and support for my endeavor of my retarded relationship with the piece of plumbing. And so I appreciate that immensely. But in the last, what was it? In this last year, really, maybe because I got this place and I realized I should talk to you about this endeavor. I kind of forged us a little bit closer together. And in that one day, when was that? Maybe 6, 7 months ago,
Something.
8 months ago, where we ended up on the phone for maybe a couple hours or more one day.
Oh, at least, yeah.
When we were processing all of our kind of symbiotic memories of time in this, similar time, similar era. And what's so funny is I was so happy to discover and find out only very recently that Marek grew up not far from Wynton Marsalis in New Orleans and actually wrote a piece for Wynton to audition at Juilliard. And the only reason it didn't happen is because he never auditioned At Juilliard.
They felt they couldn't really teach him anything,
Yeah.
which I could see. You know,
But you told me as well that you also played in like the state band on French
it was
horn,
district,
and he was in the
then
in
it
the
was
trumpet
all
section.
state. Yeah.
So he's about 60.
So I was assistant principal horn.
He's like 62, 63. You're
We're the same age. We're the same.
Oh, the same.
School class,
Okay.
graduation class.
Wow.
And
What
so
a
I
trip.
was sitting in the horn section, but I was assistant. So I got to sit on the outside, and he was first trumpet. So
Right behind you, right next to you?
no, right next to me.
Beautiful.
So
Concert
every time-
band or the orchestra?
Well, both.
Okay. Very fun.
Yeah, that goes way back.
So he's had really a quite interesting and somewhat illustrious career as a musician and as a composer. And I think I will do my best, if I can remember. This morning I crowded a whole bunch of stuff onto the homepage of my website, which is www.mtangeltheaterstudio.com. Okay, no spaces, no dots. And are you going to bring something? Were you going to bring a handout or anything?
I'll probably bring a tentative program. Just
50 of them or something like that in case
Yeah,
there's 50
well, I'll
people.
bring enough for the hall.
Okay, so there'd be no more than, certainly don't need more than 100.
No.
But we're making plans as we're having this little last-minute live stream. It is currently Wednesday, the 3rd or the 4th?
I have the 4th.
The 4th, and the Oktoberfest starts a week from tomorrow. So this is going to be either my last or second to last live stream before the Oktoberfest, because I got to reconfigure the whole space. But bless him, Marek has agreed a number of weeks or months ago to support me here with a public performance of piano works, both his own and others. And it's just really wonderful that I'm going to be able to bring together Oregon-based, indigenous at this point, local artists, musicians, serious participants and engagers like myself. It's phenomenal. And that you're willing to come down here and do that for me is really, really, really appreciated. So you've been playing the piano since you were a child?
Mm-hmm. Been playing and composing 53 years. So when I was 10,
10 years old?
I started.
And your first instrument was a piano?
Piano, then horn, then trumpet, the rest of the brass. Then I delved into the woodwinds and the percussion. Not a string player, though. I can't get my fingers to do the right thing.
Their house is absolutely wonderful. In the living room, there are 2 grand pianos. And I believe, if I have this correct, although they were undercover, 2 or 3 timpani?
2 kettle drums, yeah, 2 timpani.
And that just warmed the cockles of my heart, you understand. That's
Well, another group you have as guest on Saturday, I think at 4 o'clock, Grant Edwards and the First Congregational Church Choir.
From downtown Portland, yes.
Yeah.
You might perform with them a little bit, too.
I might perform with them a little bit, depending on what they decide is the final repertoire. I still have to make my decision because there's so much good music to choose from.
Right.
But I usually play with their choir on Easters, and they do either Hallelujah or different
You play piano for them?
hymns. That's when I play the kettle drums.
Oh, okay.
So it's good to have something to practice upon.
Fun. For the holidays at the big church. It's the First Congregational United Church of Christ across the street from the Portland Art Museum on the Southwest Park blocks,
Right.
where I recently had a 2-month-long exhibit of photography, is a beautiful, historic Portland church.
Mm-hmm.
And thank goodness for the preservation that's occurred there. So, and you moved, if I may just review a little bit more of your history that I'm aware of. So you where'd you go to college?
For undergraduate, I went to Eastman School of
That's
Music.
what I thought. So I was going to
University of
say, but I
Rochester.
wasn't sure.
Yeah.
As a music major?
As a composition major, piano minor.
And then did you go back for something like your teaching credential or something like that?
I started a master's in education, but I wasn't really cut out to be an excellent teacher, so I decided to go more into performance, and then I got admitted to Juilliard and got my master's there in 85, yeah.
In composition?
Composition, right.
And then, but didn't you teach?
I taught privately briefly.
Not in the public schools?
I did teach for about 5 years, maybe.
In the New York public schools?
Yeah, it's hard to break into, though, because they were cutting the band program, the orchestra program, the choir program.
And then something else that's very unique about you, and that's one of the things I like to do here at the Mount Angel Theater Studio TV channel, is get down and dirty with the authentic, real, complete story, is in your 30s or 40s, you became an avid bicyclist, and ultimately, do I have this correct?
I believe
a
you
New
do.
York City bicycle messenger?
That's correct. I did that for about 8 or 9 years.
In your 40s or your 50s?
That was after I gave up on teaching. I was 34, and I did it for 8 or so years, 8 or 9 years.
And playing at night or whatever, composing?
I was playing with an oldies group, the Vintage Quartet, and we would do covers, and we go up and down the East Coast. And
riding your bicycle during the day in Manhattan, in and around Manhattan.
Right. It's my starving artist days.
And then that whole bicycle thing, I believe, if I'm recalling correctly, is what kind of, at least,
it's what drew me here,
to
because
Oregon
I
and
saw
Portland.
the cycling in Portland
Mecca.
and in Oregon.
Yes.
And I was just enamored with, like,
And you
biking is in my blood.
And you were
this
ready
is the
to
place
leave the East Coast.
to do it. And I think 33 years in New York was enough to find out
What
that I
New York
prefer
was about.
Oregon a lot better.
Ah, shucks. Well, we are all so happy and grateful that you adopted this beautiful, large, slightly underpopulated in terms of modernity state, which I love as nearly and dearly as you do for very similar reasons. And we were very, very, very lucky to cross paths and have common people such that we could eventually connect like we have. And I so appreciate the connection that we've established.
I think there's a magnetism or gravity that is in the universe that makes that happen.
Absolutely true.
My version of string theory.
Or gravity plus chemistry, whatever. I mean, but whatever it is, it's just, we struck, the minute we really started communicating, boy, did we really start communicating. Our rapport was at a very high, and I think a lot of that has to do with our age and our interests. We shared,
No doubt.
we shared similar origins in time, in the calendar, and then in the intro. You grew up playing then in bands and orchestras your whole junior high and high school. So did I, So we share that at a very similar time in history. So Marek Woods-Harris, do you have anywhere that people can hear I can't remember if you have a website or anything like that.
Not currently.
A Facebook page? Yes, you do have a Facebook. Not with any musical on it.
No, not at the moment. I'm revamping.
Okay. So
Under construction.
get in touch with me, and I'll put you in touch with him if you need to hire him. You got a little whiff of what he does at the beginning of this live stream today, which is going to be short intentionally, because I've been showing him and his partner around Mount Angel all day long. We went up to the Abbey. We went over to Markham. And I've been giving them kind of an orientation to the immediate vicinity, such particularly that they can get in here and know how they get here for their performance on Saturday and Sunday, the 14th and the 15th of September, at 220 East Charles, basically ground zero of the Oktoberfest. We are just across the street on the north side of the City Hall. You can't miss us. Half a block away from the gazebo, where depending on how you feel about it, you'll get to see and hear and watch the chicken dance umpteen times every day.
How about the fish slapping dance?
I don't know. I haven't.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen it. We might have to start that right here. In any case, please come to the Mount Angel Theater Studio website. Come here during the Oktoberfest. We generally do a live performance here the second Saturday night of every month, at least through October. I'll reconsider what's going to happen this winter when I make that plan, and I'll post it on the website. And Marek and I might as well do a little bit of improvisational music on the Sunday he's here performing solo as well, whether we improvisational or otherwise, maybe a little tenderly as we discussed. So that will be absolutely a fun joy. For the programming, check the website. I've got 2 choirs coming on Saturday, the 14th. I have an opera singer and accompanist coming on Saturday, the 14th. Marek will be coming on Sunday, the 15th. The new Capitol Brass Quintet will be performing after him right here on Sunday, the 15th. My Tune Tours combos will perform throughout the 4-day festival here. And I will be showing films here, including the original Anne Oregon Story film, which is really good, and about the history of land use planning in the state of Oregon, which traditionally was a leader in those kinds of things. And so once again, thanks for watching, folks. Please give us a thumbs up, a like, a subscribe, and let people know there's a cool little easily accessible theater in Mount Angel, Oregon that's trying to do something significant. Thank you, Marek.
Thank you, John.
It's DIY. Everything here is DIY. So I have to get up and go turn off the live stream. You stay right there. Wave
I'll go
to the
turn off the piano.
Wave to the kind people at camera number 1. And we'll see you all next week at the 2024 Oktober Festival. "18 minutes and 40 seconds. Did you see it? Could you see an image over there, though? You did.
I could see the stage set.
Yeah.